ended up going every single Saturday. I took vacation time in the summer for an overnight camp and did this for several years. And so during that time, I actually, at some point, I injured my leg playing soccer really bad. I shattered my fibula, had to have a surgery, a metal plate, and a cast, and all that kind of stuff. And I was not actually bummed about missing work, because I had to miss quite a bit of work, but I was a little bit upset about missing Saturday programs, because I couldn't go there with my cast while I was recovering. And so a couple months into my recovery, I started missing the kids, but I knew it was in good hands. I knew R.O.C.K was a good organization. And so a couple months having this cast, my mom happened to be visiting from out of town, and she said, why don't we just go to R.O.C.K and check it out? And she'd never seen me volunteer before, so I said, great, we'll go say hi to the kids. I hope they remember me. We'll see. We'll go there, and it'll be a good time. So I remember it was a Saturday in spring. They were playing soccer. There was probably 40 elementary school kids in a circle just paying attention to the instructor. And my mom and I pull up. We're pretty far away. I start crutching out. My mom's right next to me, and I'm thinking, oh, it looks good. It looks all the same. I wasn't even missed. Next thing I know, I see a couple kids in the distance. You know, a couple of them wave to me. They say, oh, that's good to see you. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, they remember me. That's good. Next thing I know, I have 40 elementary school kids running at me full speed, just in the pack or a herd or whatever you want to call that. It was a little bit scary. I looked at my mom and I said, this is probably not a good thing. And elementary school kids, I don't know if you've worked with any, they seem a lot bigger than they used to be. And so half of them, half of them are bigger than me. I know that doesn't say a whole lot, but in a pack of 40, it's a little intimidating. So they get closer and closer. All of a sudden, I'm surrounded by 40 elementary school kids. And it was a little uncomfortable in that, they're all trying to give me side hugs or high fives. And they're a little bit in my space, and I felt a little fragile with my leg. And so all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Joy Fisher, her name is, at the time, I think she was probably 7 or 8 years old. She was about half the size of everyone else. I just see these little arms poke through the crowd, and she just weasels her way in and puts both arms to the side and just leans back and holds everyone back. It was very amazing. And it's really just, that was that one kind of moment for me where I thought, wow, if I have this much impact on this little girl, just think about what I could do if this was my job, and think about what kind of an organization this is that has that much impact on all these kids. And so it was really just a couple years after that just the opportunity came up to run R.O.C.K, and so ever since I've been the executive director of R.O.C.K. So actually, you want to go to the next slide? So I want to actually take a poll, and don't worry, I'm not going to call you out, but just I want to see how many people have heard of Visitation Valley. Raise your hand if you've heard of it. Okay, you can put your hands down. And then how many people have actually been to Visitation Valley? So a handful. So Vis Valley, it's an interesting place. Not many of you raise your hands, and Vis Valley is one of those places that's in the news, but it's usually for negative reasons. And the reality is, yes, it's a low-income, high-balance neighborhood, but there's lots of families out there, there's lots of children, and it probably has the best sun in San Francisco. And so, but the bottom line is, it is definitely a challenging place to grow up if you're a kid. And it's very underserved, not a whole lot of resources out there. It's very much a challenge. Go ahead, next slide. And so what we do, again, we are R.O.C.K, Real Options for City Kids. We've been around for over 18 years. We only serve Visitation Valley. Our core of what we do, we grew up doing sports and outdoor stuff for kids. That's what we love. That's what we're good at. So we do a lot of that. And we also realize that to really have a large impact, we have to integrate ourselves with the schools. And so we do programming at the schools. We run after-school programs, doing all homework and enrichment and other stuff as well. And so we're doing stuff in the school, after school, Saturdays, evenings, summertime, all year round. We have a lot of staff, but we also have a lot of need for a lot of volunteers. And so the model that we have you know, for us, we're looking at this as the long term. And because we've been around for 18 years, we're seeing a lot of those success stories of the kids that were elementary school participants and now adults. And so the idea is we want kids in our program from the time they're kindergarten or first grade, come to after-school programs, Saturdays, the summer, all through their childhood. And research has actually shown that if we do that right, the chances for them being successful as adults increases dramatically. And so that's really what we're trying to do. You know, the sports, the outdoor stuff, the music, it's a great way to draw kids in. But the reality is, it's all about the long-term successes, providing that safe environment, positive relationships with people such as yourself, potentially. And having these young people mature into adults that are successful. And we've actually seen a lot of success. And for me, since I started off volunteering 15 years ago, a lot of those elementary school kids that I started working with, they've gone to college, they've graduated, they've become volunteers, they've worked for us, and we even have a handful that donate money to us. So go ahead, next slide. And really the last thing, I'm very excited with this partnership for StubHub. We actually learned about this, what was it, about a month ago? And they said you can't tell anyone until we announce it to our staff. So I'm happy that we can finally tell people that we're partnered with StubHub. I don't know, do they know the amount that we were donated? I don't think so. Okay, can I say that? So we actually already received a check for $25,000 from you guys, which is awesome. You can clap. I see you saw clapping there. So we're very thankful for that. Thank you so much. And for us, it's all about this partnership. And we don't want just money and walk away and be a bother. We want your help. And so there's tons of ways. I'm sure you'll hear from Kate and Emma about how you can get involved. You might be talking about this later as well. Okay. And I'm sure they're going to follow up with you with emails and different things, but there's lots of ways. So, you know, if you want to do direct service work with the kids, we have lots of opportunities. We have Saturday programs if it's too hard to get out of here. If you can get out of here and your boss says you can get out for a couple hours in the afternoon once a week, we have homework help. Lots of great stuff. If you're more of the event planning person, we have 3 major events every year. We could always use help for that. And I know we're already starting to work on a big event in May. And then if you have some other skills that may be less direct, more indirect, such as technology skills or anything like that, we're always looking for help. So thank you so much. You're going to be blown away pretty soon about a couple speakers we have next. And so I want to introduce you Monique. So come on up here, Monique. I've known Monique. Oh yeah. I've known Monique.